Elevate TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Good morning, this is Wednesday Morning Digest. I am your host Moses Muiruri, and today is going to be an amazing conversation. Remember, we bring conversations that bring transformation. This is Elevate Television, advancing kingdom lifestyle. They say every day, every morning is a new day to do a new beginning. And with that in mind, every day, every failure, every setback is an opportunity to begin again. But sometimes it's always hard to begin again because of the circumstances surrounding one and the opportunities that are available. But today we have a great conversation with my friend. He is back in the house. He is loaded. But Albert, karibu sana. I told you you'll be back.
Thank you very much. It's good to be back.
Maybe you can introduce yourself. Not everybody knows you. And we can move to the drill.
My name is Albert Sabwa. I am a lead coach. I coach people on how to lead their lives and lead organizations and businesses. And I'm here glad to add value to people's lives.
Wonderful. Remember, this is a morning digest, so we do our drill again. The link is already out on Facebook, on YouTube, and we want to ask you to just pick the link right now. I'm doing that. Pick the link and let's send it over to our friends on WhatsApp. And those of you on Elevate Television, you can go on our Facebook page, like Elevate TV, and you get the prompts every other time we are on air. And you can pick the link and post it on your timeline, post it on any place that you would want somebody to hear this. We invite you to do that now, and it's going to be an amazing day today. So we want to begin with something that everybody has to face with. You know, everybody has been faced with this, Albert. Everybody. You know, to reinvent yourself, to restart again. This has failed. This has gone down. We're just coming from COVID. You've heard the stories of COVID. You know, horror stories. You know, and people who have lost, you know, whether it's businesses, loved ones, everything. How do I start again? That's the question. How can I begin again? How can I continue? But we find there are people who just pick it up somehow and they move on. So and that will be our conversation today. How do I start again? Maybe I should start there.
You know, just the fact that you say again, use the word again. They say it's like a premise. Yeah. It means you started. So you're doing it again.
No, we are living in the days of lawyers.
So I have to try not to be as deep as a lawyer.
No, it's okay. You're doing
well. So one of the things I read recently, it says that the difference of where I am and where I can or should be is not a matter of potential. Where I can be or where I will be relative to where I am now is not a matter of potential. It's a matter of perspective.
Wow.
It's a matter of perspective. It's a matter of how you see things, what you see things. And a lot of the times we have what is referred to as the trap of the unfamiliar. You know, there's a fear of the unknown, but there's also a trap of the unfamiliar. Where what you know has trapped you so much that you don't want to even try and figure out what you don't know.
Wow.
You know, there's a preacher who said that he is not afraid of what he has not read in the Bible. He's afraid of what he has read. Because what I know already is already a conviction enough of what I've not done. So even when you tell me read more, I have a feeling something hard is coming. So how do you start again is a challenge not of potential, it's a challenge of perspective.
Okay.
It's a challenge of the fear or the trap of the unfamiliar. You're so familiar with what you do or what you believe should be what you do that you don't want to step out.
Wow.
So if you stepped out once, you can step out again. But to step out again, it requires certain ways of doing, certain ways of thinking, certain ways of experiences.
You know, I read a quote by somebody who said something a very interesting way. He said it, a fresh start is not a place. Is not where you are going, is a new mindset, like you're saying, perspective. And how does one get so imprisoned in what they know? You know, I'm just beginning to see, you're a coach. You always, it's like you read people. And it's true. That is very true. What you know already, you don't want to venture out.
What we are beings of comfort. So anything that keeps me comfortable, I am attracted there and want to stay there. The challenge is that every time I look for comfort, I need to stir myself out of that comfort to another comfort. So it's like I need to make this new comfort more admirable and desirable than this present comfort. Otherwise, I will not move. I will stay there. And that's where the change of mindset comes in. Yeah.
Wow. You know, I'm processing information as you talk. Being a being of comfort, normally we are always seeking for comforts. And when somebody gets into a comfort zone, what they call a comfort zone, it's very hard to, you'd really want to stay a bit there. But you're saying is that you need to stir it up so that it's not as good anymore, so you're looking for the next comfort. Is that what we call dreaming?
That is what is called vision. Yes. Where you can see something there, is that seat there is much better than this seat here. But it's a seat just like this one. So I have a vision of what I will be doing, what I will be enjoying there. And then I'm able to compare with what I'm enjoying now and make that gap, see what is in that gap and decide I want to take the step and get there. So it is an opportunity everyone has, but not everyone takes.
Let me think about a person. There are those who say, I have nothing to start over again. Do you believe them?
No, I don't. I don't. For two reasons. One, because I believe in God. So, because once you believe in God, you know instinctively that God has put something in me. And He doesn't put something in me that can't bear fruit. So I have something. Secondly, is because I'm a social being. I'm a human being. Just the fact that I'm human, it has nothing to do with where I come from. I'm a social being. There are people around me. So as long as I have my faith and belief in God and I have my relationships, I have literally more than enough. The challenge we usually look at is when we say I don't have something to start off, we look at money. I can tell you almost as a fact, I'm in business and money has never fallen at my door. Ajay. There's no time I've prayed and woken up in the morning and found as I'm lifting my hands to God, it just starts raining money. No. But I can also tell you almost as a fact that all the money I've received, it is someone I've spoken to once or twice. Or we're in a relationship. Yes.
Wow. So it's actually perspective.
It's perspective.
Because, those people who always tell you, I have nothing.
Yes.
I'm reminded about the Bible story of this widow who had debt. The husband died with a debt. I said, I have nothing.
Nothing. Nothing at all.
I have nothing, but then something showed up. That means we need to find out, what do I have? What do I have? Capital in terms. I was in a seminar, business seminar one time, and this man said something that moved my mind. He said, many people, when you ask them why are you not doing the business, they tell you I don't have capital. I mean, that's a common.
Yes.
But then he said, what capital are we talking about here? Is it human? Is it skill? He said money is at the bottom of 7 of those things. Is at the least, the last one we should be talking about. So the same thing here we are talking about. So if you're saying you have nothing, you are really not serious.
You're not. So let me the coach in me just last time what we did was more, there are different ways of coaching. There's one where we do one-on-one like what we did last time.
Yes.
That helps you to get to a point of execution. But there's also another aspect which is like group or team coaching, where there are many people and you're coaching all of them at the same time. That one where whenever I do that, it reminds me of the stories of public flogging. It's like people watch you being flogged and then they say, "Ay, come on, if it's like that, even me I don't want." Or if it's like that, that's what I want. And the thing about a group is that there is an opportunity to be able to teach, to relate, then coach, relate. Whereby, for example, like in this case, the audience is like the one we are coaching. So we are teaching them, but they need to relate. Then we coach and relate. You understand? Which is something that we can look at as a way of helping us all. Because one of the things that I have come to appreciate is the fact that the Bible in itself has answers for every situation, literally every situation. Yes. I'm one of those who believes that the Bible is real and relevant for every situation today in my life and in the generations we are in. And there's a very good story in the Bible of Peter in John 21. That's like the last chapter of John. So just to create a picture, by this time Peter has known Jesus. He has walked with him. Jesus has told him, even you're the rock. He has told him all these things.
Yes.
Peter has run to the grave and seen, clearly, he is not here. Peter has seen Jesus. He has been told by Mary of Magdalene. He has been told by the others on the road. He has seen Jesus risen. He has seen Jesus prove to Thomas that touch him, I'm the one. Yes. But in John 21, Peter just stands up and says, I'm going fishing. I'm going fishing. And he doesn't do it alone. The other says, twende. And there's nowhere in that story that tells you that Peter had put away everything and he was not going to do it. He found what he had.
He went back to what he had.
A lot of our challenge time is that we don't look at what do you have. Even God told Moses, what is in your hand? Or the story you're telling, you're just mentioning now of the widow. What is in your house? I only have a jar of oil. Tosha. What do you have? Most people do not realize that God will use what you have. What you have. Do a skill assessment. Do an assessment of what you think you're good at. What has someone ever said you can do? I remember in 2019, I transitioned from the job I was doing. I went to another organization, and then that was now when COVID showed up.
Wow.
And then the industry I was in, a lot of things were closing down. So by the first quarter of 2020, I was just told, Sasa, thank you for being here. Shika, enda. I was given like 10 days notice. At that moment, I had to ask, what have I been doing? What can I do? What do I have? And that's when I thought back to, I've been doing this thing. I don't know what it's called, but it sounds like people are calling it coaching. I've been doing this thing people are calling training. But that wasn't my core job. My core job was management and running a team.
Wow.
So I was not employed as a coach or a trainer. Evaluate your skills. Just like Peter. What is it? What's your fishing? Fishing yako ni gani? Go fish.
Go fish. I go a fishing. In
Start
fact,
there.
James puts it nicely. I go a fishing.
Yes, go fish.
Wow.
Because if you don't go fishing, then that story in John 21, you know, I would have read that whole chapter, but with time maybe we'll read it. But in verse 5 it says that they did not catch anything. Nothing. You know, even Jesus asked them, have you caught anything? They said no. And I find that it's mainly us who are coaching who will be able to tell you this. Go fishing. Step 2, expect to fail.
You expect to fail?
Yes.
Well, okay.
I literally send you out to fail. Why? Because if you do not fail, you do not get the opportunity to start, to realize I need to start.
Wow.
So go fishing, expect to fail, but when you expect to fail, evaluate that experience. Because there's always that question, it challenges me every time I read that story and others. How big was that boat? This whole night you've been fishing. Then I'll put on this other side. Then you catch fish. How big was that boat? Those fish were just waiting for you to come this side.
Wow.
That's where perspective comes.
Yes.
It's
and by
not,
the way, it was not easy. He didn't just go. He had to argue first and say, you know.
whichever way, it was when he put it on this other side, that's when he caught. It was a change of perspective. I have always done it this way. Now what is it, what process do I need to change to be able to make a difference, to move forward? I have tried, it has failed. Yes, I understand I have the coaching in me and so on, but I don't know how to do business. I have tried, it has failed. I've tried to get someone, it has failed. What do I need to change? Then I went for business classes, business training, learned what the things I was doing wrong and what I need to do right. Then when you have changed your perspective, then you can be able to now shift that perspective.
Wow.
Without that shift, you're still in your comfort. Peter and the one in the boat had the option, they were almost at shore. In fact, the Bible says they were like 100 feet or so. Because he jumped out, akaenda. They said he's still...
He was just here.
He's just here.
The same place, eh?
Yes.
And I think if you go to the Bible, you'll find a lot of those stories. You know,
Yes.
people just where they were is where the thing was, what they were looking for. You see, when we go to the Bible, somebody, my leader once was telling us a story, and he said he encountered some professors. And these professors were telling them, you people, you are talking about your Bible, you know, you are talking too much about these people. But these people are dead. Peter is dead. Moses is dead. The widow is dead. Do we have people in our current life today that we can say, so and so, you know, he just began again, and look where he is.
The biggest thing about...
And don't mention KFC.
You see, that same Bible says we are living epistles. I'm sitting here as one of those.
Wow.
I would not be sitting here. Why would I be sitting here? I had to start again. I had to remodel myself to fit in and grow into who I am now. I am a living testament of the fact that there are some people, even today, there is a family friend of ours who heard that I'm a coach. And to him, he's in business. And he was actually telling my wife that he cannot picture me coaching because he knows me as a quiet, reserved person who is systematic in a certain way. But he can't picture me as a coach because he doesn't see it. But when I meet him, he still refers to me as coach. I transitioned. I started afresh. It is a process that after the shift, you take actions and you keep going and keep going. And you have someone you can be able to say, I have seen Moses do this. Moses knows it. So I will go to Moses and Moses will help me to get there. And be willing to pay Moses, not just Moses Banawe, media unafanya aje. Be willing to learn to the point that you're willing to invest into that. The amount that I have needed to invest to become the business, the coach that I am, is what has brought me to where I am, and is what is taking me forward.
Wow.
So right now there are some people from the aviation. I was in the aviation industry for 16 years.
Wow.
So after 16 years, you're given actually 10 days notice to leave. And in the next month is when I met our friend Frank.
Wow.
And now started learning business and as a coach and doing farming. Now I am on this other end. I have, my net is on this other side. My net is on this other side.
It's on the other side.
So-
You're the second aviation guy I've met here.
So that in itself, I can name for you several people. But I would have to bring them here.
No, you don't have to. You don't
But
have to.
my transition is where you're able to see, even when you transition, what's your motive? Because there are those who transition because that's the only thing they can do. Yes, sawa. But at some point, you'll ask, just like Jesus asked Peter, do you love me? Is your motive the love for the people, the love for God's people, love for God even? Love for love God, love yourself, love for others. Is your motive right? Once your motive is right, then your steps forward become easier. But you cannot get to your motive before you have started huku chini. You have to go fishing. What's that in your hand? Then when you go fishing, you realize you'll fail. Fail at something. Be willing to fail at something. Then when you failed, you have evaluated why you failed. Shift and make some changes in your process. Then you can see, okay, now this is working, but is it motivated by love ama ni kulipa tu bills na nataka kufanya? Then your shift goes.
You know what
Realize
you're saying
this,
is-
so far hizo steps zote, I've not mentioned money.
Let me say something, because we are going to go for a break, and we are going to look at the wisdom or what you can create, just not something systematic, but like a process. You know, like what you've just started saying. You know, first of all, judge your motives. You know, that motive of you use a scripture. You say, "Do you love me?" But the motive that do you love the people that you really want to serve? You see. We are in a season, in a time in our life where bills are staring. And so you find many, and not few, many are in this, they will tell you, I have to pay bills. Yesterday I was talking to somebody, he told me, Moses, at the end of the month, your landlord will not want stories. He will not even ask you for prayers. He will not ask you for anything else but money.
The money.
So you have to have money. And so we, you know, and these are realities that people are facing. And so some people will tell you, I have to pay bills. So the passion thing,
Haiko.
please, brother. These things don't, you know, in Swahili we say, kitu haitaki makasiriko. Kitu haitaki makasiriko.
Yes.
So those are the, you know, the things people have to battle with. You know, you have, you know, when your son is reporting to school, you will not be told how much passion do you carry.
Yes.
He may be passionate, but they will be asking for a sleep or some fee. And so when you talk about passion, and that line is very thin. I'm even missing the words for that question. How do I go about, yes, I'm passionate about something, and these are glaring at me. And I'm sure you went through that. That's why I'm asking, why I want that personal experience, so that you can be able to say, yeah, you had bills like everybody else, and you needed to pay them. I mean, being in aviation, I'm sure there's also a level of standard of life you had set for yourself. Your children are in a certain school, you live in a certain area, maybe even what you drive, or maybe you had responsibilities of parents or siblings. You had quite something to do. So how did you manage all that? And you don't need to answer everything. We will go for a break in a few minutes, but okay, you can begin.
So first of all, I like to put aside the definition of passion because a lot of times it is misunderstood to a deep feeling. Sawa. But to me, what I prefer to use as passion is being able to know which opportunity can you take. There is a lesson we teach in biblical entrepreneurship of, opportunities when your preparation meets that timing. The question is not how passionate am I. The question is how prepared am I. Remember, like I said, when that came to me, as you said, there is a list that these things have to be paid. These ones, I can be able to get a leeway for understanding, okay, and so on. But at the time you're making that shift, the question is, what are you prepared? What has life prepared you to be able to do? So that's where you do a skill assessment. You do an assessment of your own skills and your giftings. What am I skilled at? What am I gifted at? Evaluate what am I doing presently that can change into a service that if I give Moses, he will pay me. Because at the end of the day, you want something that someone will exchange money for, value for value.
Yeah.
No one, if you had 100 shillings and I had 100 shillings, and I tell you let's exchange, you'll exchange, but you'll feel, what was that for?
Yeah.
But if I have 1,000 and you have 100, we can exchange.
Yeah.
I need to be able to look at my preparation, my gifting, my skills. What do I have that is worth 1,000 shillings for your 100 shillings? That's when there's a exchange that is valuable for you to give me 100 because I need to pay this 100 here. And that's one of the things where the story of passion and me shift kidogo. You can have a passion for coaching, but there's nothing in the past 5 years that shows you have anything to do with coaching. You don't usually hata ongei na watu. You don't talk to people. You don't help people. You're not someone of anything that shows you have been prepared in dealing with people.
Yeah.
So yes, it's your desire to do it, but it is not. You're not prepared. You need a period to prepare. But at your backyard, you have been keeping 2 chicken. Every so often there are 2 chicken. Even people will come to your house and I don't usually buy eggs. I have my chicken. You have a preparation of chicken rearing, but because you are in aviation, that is not. No. You have a preparation of chicken rearing. At this point, that is something you evaluate and see, this is something I have. If I just build it a bit, it will pay some of these bills.
Yes.
Or maybe even pay all these bills and more. That evaluation of what have you been preparing, what is in your hand that you have been working with, whether directly or indirectly. Remember the familiar. Our challenge is, I am familiar with especially a job or a certain business. I'm familiar with that. This other one, which used to be a side thing I do once in a while. Once in a while, you used to be called when your friend is setting up a wedding, and you go and you help them set the flowers. But to you, I was helping
That was
Moses.
helping your brother.
Yes.
I want you to hold it there. We're going to go for a break. Because now this we may jump our break. We are going for a break, and those of you who are online and those of you who are watching, you can text the numbers on your screen. You can WhatsApp, don't call, just text. And those of you on Facebook, on YouTube, please send in your question if you have any, your comment, and we shall be able to respond to you after the break. Keep it elevated.
Knowledge is power. Information is liberating. Education is not just preparation for life. Education is life in itself. Great education does not only deliver creative thinkers, problem solvers and innovative minds, but also individuals who are physically, emotionally and spiritually sound. Gospel Light College offers holistic education and much more.
This course has shaped us. I, for once, as a pastor, I'm now well prepared, able to present the gospel in the right way.
A degree with so much depth. I'm so blessed, and I am actually looking forward to doing the masters.
I want to welcome all of you, those who would like to join GLC, and also those who would like to progress for our master's program. The time is now.
Search no more. We offer higher diploma, bachelor's and a master's degree in biblical studies and community development. We also offer Greek classes. The September 2022 intake is ongoing. Book your slot today by calling 0748 00 6112. Gospel Light College, a Christ-like worker for a Christ-like church.
Welcome back. We are talking amazing things, and no, I cannot forget the past, the familiar, the prison of the familiar. And Albert, you're talking about the things we help people with. We forget that these are things we do, and we don't look at them as anything important. I've helped people, by the way,
Yes.
many times. Yes.
That's true.
To do very, very many things. In fact, let me. I mean, if I give you examples of some things I help people, like there's something I used to help people with one time, and I just helped a friend, created a logo for them, just from I self-taught, graphics, and so I created a logo for someone. He found a logo I was using, so he said, "Can you make me something like this?" So he asked me, "Can I pay you?"
Yeah.
I got shocked.
Yes.
And he paid me, and the way he said, and I told him, he asked how much. I said, I mean, you're my friend, anything. So am I in that group?
Yes. Yes. You're in that group, and it's not a fault of yours. It is a prevailing mentality we have across society, where we forget the basic principles of business, basic principles of human interaction, is that no one was created to do things alone. In fact, John Maxwell has a quote that says, "One is too small a number for significance."
Wow.
If you are aiming to do it yourself, no, you will not be significant. What you're doing will just be a drop in the ocean. But if you want to do something that will shift the ocean, that people will feel you've done something, it has to go beyond you, include others, and then grow. There is no such thing, even in nature, a cell in the body multiplies. why would you only accept the mentality or the speak that says, I got this idea, whichever way you prayed, you read, you got the idea. You have two chicken, and now the situation has caused you to now want to grow to now supply eggs in the estate. What makes you think that it's only you who needs to do it? Why aren't you employing someone who knows how to take care of chicken? Where would you? That's why they remained two. All this year there have been two. That's why there are two.
There are two. Yeah.
If you knew there would be 15 or 1,000 by now. So you need to be willing to link up with someone. Link up with people who know to teach you. Then be willing to employ or contract people who will do the things you can't do. Because none of us is a full-fledged machine. I like to say, when I read the story of Jesus, when he started growing and now it was time to begin, the thing that we read in the book of Mark is one of the first activities he did. He went and prayed and chose 12.
Wow.
He didn't decide first, wait, fanya kila kitu, then at some point we'll figure out who will come. No, first thing, chose 12.
Wow.
I like the story as written in Mark, because the book of Mark actually says, and it says he chose 12 to be with him, that he may send them forth.
Yeah.
First thing, to be with him.
Be with him, yeah.
Why? I can't do this thing alone. And by that, he did it in 3 years. Some of us in 3 years, hata hiyo biashara haiko. Why? I don't have anyone. Think of it, for example, as I said, for me to be seated here, you didn't know me, I didn't know you.
Yes.
But you knew Frank who knew me, and I knew Frank.
Yes.
If I had not chosen to connect with Frank in June 2020, I would not be sitting here.
I tell you. Wow.
Why? Because that connection, relationship, is something that you can, is a place where you have to be, the one I was saying, the risk of failure. That's one of the first places. Can you imagine, we say Jesus is Lord and he was all-knowing. Can you imagine Jesus saying, I've chosen 12. Judas, you're one of them. And I've known from the beginning, you will betray me.
You will betray me.
But us, the moment I suspect, not even I've proven, I suspect that Moses may steal my idea. May start a M-Pesa right next to mine, or may start a chicken eggs in the neighborhood. I kill my idea.
So the first thing is you get people.
You have to build relationship.
Build relationship. Because what we are doing now is just trying to find sort of a process, steps, yeah? So the first thing is build relationships.
First thing is identify the
skill set.
Or what you are doing that can transfer into money. And money is I only pay when I know there's value.
Yes.
I have 100, what I'm buying is 105 or 1,000. In fact, I feel like I have actually bargained a good deal. As long as there is value, someone will pay.
Okay.
So identify that.
Okay.
Once you've identified that, the process of building that to where it can meet all the list of bills you have, at some point has to include other people as well. So now you start looking for strategic relationships.
Yeah.
Who are the people, like the Bible says, when you go into a city, look for a man of peace.
Yes.
Who are the people of peace in this industry that I need to know? If I'm in farming, who are the agrovets I need to know? Who are the seed sellers I need to know? Who are the buyers, mamambogas I need to know? Because if I don't know them, I can't be the whole chain.
Yeah, it's true.
So once you've identified what is in your hand that you can sell, build relationships.
Okay.
The woman you are mentioning, the widow, what is in your hand? A jar. Okay, sasa, go borrow from relationships. Go borrow
And you
pots.
can't borrow from strangers.
Yes, they won't give you if they don't know you. Without relationship, where is it going? Then sell. Sell. Hapo ndio inaitwa ni kizungumkuti. Yes.
Sell.
Sell. You have something of value, sell it. And sell is basically serving value for value, for a need.
Not give, sell.
No, not give, sell. Value for a need. I am giving you value. There is a need that's where the motive of love comes in. I do not sell to you what you don't need. If you don't need it, praise the Lord. You're not the one I have. If you don't want eggs, sawa, si ati nakusaidia unisaidia. There is someone who every day they must have eggs.
Yeah.
They run a bakery or they are a bodybuilder. Lazima kule mayai.
I tell you.
So once that is there and you've sold it, then have your financials disciplines. Because without disciplines, all this falls. The beauty of disciplines is where now some of us as coaches come and help to keep you accountable. Where we tell you, okay, now you have been here, you have been at this level, it's like you have been going around this mountain long enough. Step out. It reminds me recently, I was coaching a group, and one of the discussions was on goals and so on, and I told them, one of the things I have been challenged this year to do by someone who coaches me as well, told them, you write your goals. Moses, write your goals. So once you've written all your goals, now next to the page, 10 times those goals.
10 times.
Yes. If your goal was to reach 5 people, 10 times 50.
Wow.
If your goal was 1 million revenue, 10 times, your goal is now 10 million. If your goal was to increase the stock by X, now it's 10 times that. I can assure you, Moses, when you have someone who comes and that's the only thing they tell you, unajua your coaching session ilisarambatika kidogo, because now your mind begins to think, by the way, why have I always done business to this level? What do I need to do to get to 10? And even if you don't get to 10, hata ukifika 5, it's 5 times what you thought. That has stretched you. So you have relationships, you have the product you're selling, but you need someone who will always ask you, like Jesus asked his disciples, what have you been talking about on the road? Mulikuwa mnasema nini? Go forward. When you have those in place, your 2 chicken will become 10 chicken, will become 10 trays per day, will become 1,000 trays, and your bills, you're paying them progressively, and soon you're supplying eggs and chicken to your area. You're not even coming to Nairobi. Why? You have even people, now you have people running the chicken, and you, because you have created a place for yourself, now you're seeing which is the next market, what is the food industry going to do, bei ya chakula, food, agrovet. You're now doing other steps in that business. You have grown. You started by taking care of 2 chicken. When they go to 10, you realize, hi, this is not my place. You moved up and got someone to take care of chicken. Now you started knowing who sells chicken. Now you put someone who will sell the chicken, then you move up, and now you're looking which are the industries, where can I sell. Now you get someone else to do that. Now you're up doing marketing. Now so you're growing within the business and growing your revenue as you go. Within a period of time, you have your idea, you have your systems, you have a team, you're leading that team, and your business is growing from zero.
Wow.
I'll say it to mingi.
You see, even I forgot you're in a program. I forgot you were on TV. Now, he said skills, analyze your skills, create relationships. We are moving on.
Yes, you create.
Please write these things down, those of you who are writing, because, I mean, these are coming for you. You should pay for this, but it's coming like free. Yeah?
Yes, once you've evaluated what you have, evaluate what you have, start. Start. Because the longer you take to start, the more I can convince you not to start. You'd rather start and fail than not start.
Wow.
Because once you start, then there's opportunity for you to fail and go through the process of now revamping, knowing why did I fail, what didn't I know, who should I know to make sure it doesn't fail again, and then adjust. Don't wait too long, because we also have the other comfort of there is a group of people, even right now in this season, I've gone through COVID, I've gone through the election period when there was a lull kidogo in business. Now you're here, things are beginning to move up. You're just uko tu. You wake up uko tu. Now the challenge is you have not realized you're failing. You'll realize at the end of the year. Why wait till the end of the year? See, just fail now. That shift that you're waiting to do at the end of the year, shift it now. Shift it now. Just look through and see, this time, 3 years, 1 year, this time I should be doing X. I have not done. That's a failure. What do I need to adjust? Who do I need to bring along to be asking me that hard question? So I, as an individual, using myself as an example, I have put in place certain people who will ask me, okay, how many calls were you supposed to make this week? How many people have you coached this week? Why? Because I need to grow. Otherwise, I won't.
Wow.
Otherwise, that comfort of there was a season either went well or didn't go well, now needing to, it's like a car which needs to be jump started. The battery is not fully dead, but it can't start the car. So jump starting you sometimes needs you to fail. And someone tells you, okay, it was this area you didn't look. Refill yourself. If you're a believer, read the Bible more. Invest time in a fellowship with people who are seeing and speaking things. Learn something that makes you, for lack of an English word, jumpstart you.
Jumpstart your life.
Because you have to fail.
So we have done three processes now.
Yes.
Because you see, what we are gleaning wisdom from where you started, because you are a living testament, like we said, a living testament. You came from this industry, 10 days, leave. You have to restart your life, and these are things you have done. You know, things you have done have more weight than things you're reading.
Yes.
And those experiences, because you don't speak them, and I think one time I was listening to this man, great man, T.D. Jakes, and he was teaching on the subject about he was actually remodeling yourself again. It's just like what we are doing right now. But then he came up with a very interesting statement. He said, if a man is not limping, don't follow him.
Yes.
Because that man does not have any scar.
He has no scars.
And the tragedy is he may lead you to a very bad ditch where he has not been.
He has not been.
Yeah. And so what you're speaking is what you have done, and I really appreciate that. So you literally had to, accountability structures, you put them in place, and I like that other part you said, start.
Start.
Yeah. That's everybody is frozen.
Yes, start.
Frozen like.
Yes. Start. Because I cannot help you unless you've started. The challenge of not starting is because as human beings, ideas come to our mind every minute. So if I've not started walking this way, I have an option to go this way, this way, this way, or even just sit. But once I start moving in this direction, if you tell me, no, by there, Albert, the exit is on this other direction, I have opportunity to shift.
To turn, yeah.
But if I'm seated here and you tell me the exit is that way, okay, the exit is that way. Start. Evaluate. Start. Once you start, create value. Someone will buy based on the value. No one pays for junk. Once someone is paying you for value, now create relationships that will help you build that business or that venture to where it gets to where it is paying the bills you're saying. And then create an accountability structure that drives you forward. That drives you forward. Because you cannot, at the time you're starting, as you've said, I have a list of bills. I know about how much needs to be. When I'm looking at my 2 chicken, these 2 chicken cannot meet this. But if I start today, I can project and begin to see maybe in the next period, I will be able to capture different things. And if I'm seeing this chicken, I'm not going to meet this in the time I need. Since I've started chicken, if another idea comes, it will always be relative to how is it going to affect this 2 chicken becoming 1,000. But if I've not started, I will be thinking I could start chicken, I could start a music place, I could start drawing, I could start taking photos, I could. Yes, you could. Start. When you start those chicken, is when you see, even all these other things, if I do this, I'll kill the chicken. So I'll only do the ones that align to a similar tangent. Then you grow.
That they are building the same thing.
Then you grow.
Wow.
Because this, as you've said, my landlord will not understand when I tell him I am waiting.
To start.
No, I'm waiting on the Lord.
Why?
My landlord will not understand, even as much, despite being a believer or someone, he will not understand.
Yes.
But he will understand when I tell him, this is what happened to me, and they gave me this, but this is what I'm going to do. I have 2 chicken, and this is the plan I have. So because of that, I will not pay X amount for this period of time because this chicken need to grow. And once this chicken grow, even you, landlord, I'll be giving you 1 tray of eggs.
Wow.
That is a conversation you can have when you've started.
Yes.
Not when, me nafikiria, I think I can do that. No. Start. What do you have in your hand? What have you done? There are a lot of people who, especially you are in a job situation and you learned skills in that job, but you don't know how to make use of that to help people. You are in a admin scenario, you can do a project management because you've done projects. Help people do their projects, get value and get paid. Start. There is a scripture where do not despise the day of small beginnings.
Small beginnings, yes.
That's not even the power of that scripture, Moses. For the Lord delights in the beginning.
Wow.
The Lord delights in you just starting. Not about you despising small beginnings. That is there. But the Lord delights in you just starting. Sasa wewe, start.
Start.
Then let's talk.
Please start. Please start. Hey. Do you have any other? We are going to, our time is ending, so you better say everything.
The scope of basically everything that I coach on is based around four things. I call it leadership for real. REAL. in everything you're going to achieve, any success you're looking for, you must take into account relationships.
Relationship, wow.
You have to take into account relationships. Those relationships around you, those relationships you need, and those that you have. You have to take into account equipping. How are you equipping yourself? And these people who you're taking up, how are you equipping them to help you attain the 1,000 chicken? You can't say you're growing this way and you're not equipping yourself. You're not being equipped, and you're not equipping those around you to be of support to you. The third thing is attitude. Attitude is an inward belief that comes out as a behavior. What are you believing? That mindset, that perspective, what are you believing? If you're seated there and you're believing the end of the world is, I don't have a job, it's the end of the world for me. Change. Start to believe in who you are and what you have. And finally, L is leadership. How do you influence things that are around you? Great leaders are great followers. Who are you following? I cannot talk of great leadership without great following.
Yeah.
And that will show, who I'm following will show, and not following just social media, I'm following. No, who can you actually say, this is someone I listen to, and when they say this, I do. When they say this, I do. They say this other thing, I do. That's now leadership. I can be able to sit here and say that because there's someone who I listen to. When they say, I do. When you say something that makes adjust my goals, I do.
Wow.
That relationship, equipping, attitude, leadership.
You see that statement you've just said there, I do. Yeah? It's a very strong word. And I think we all, many failure is attributed to that I did not do.
Yes.
Why?
Execution is hard. To execute something, Moses, is hard. It is hard because it takes everything in you to execute.
Yeah.
When, I remember a pastor was saying, there are times he's doing a wedding and he looks and the people are saying, I do. And in his mind he's thinking, I'm not sure you know what you're saying.
It's true. It's very true.
I don't know, I'm not sure. And that's the burden of executing a plan. I know I need it, but I don't do it because I'm comfortable. And this change that's going to happen, I want it, but I'm not sure I want to bridge this gap. But the moment you start bridging that gap, that I do becomes something else and becomes greater and greater and greater. The first I do is the hardest. The next ones is you still keep saying, okay, that one I'll also do. Okay, and also that one I'll do. And that one I'll also do that one. I also do that one. The first one is the most challenging. I will start. Once you start, now you begin to realize, hey, now I've started 2 chicken. Now I need to find someone to buy eggs. Now I need to do something to sell eggs. I need to do something to account. I need to do something to finance. I need to do something to employ. But the first one is like climbing the hill. Then that first one is the one you just, there's a phrase where I was trained in coaching, they say, jump and grow your wings on the way down. Get to the edge of the cliff, jump and grow your wings on the way down.
As you go down.
Yes. Because if you wait for your wings to grow, you don't know how big you need, jump and grow your wings on the way down.
Wow, you know, you're a joy just to listen to. I can listen to you a whole day. I mean, you are just something. And we are winding up, and it's it's just a joy listening to you. I don't have many words to say. But I want you to look at the camera and just out of you, inspiration, I want you to speak to somebody, because at the end of the day, we are speaking to people, and we are speaking to ourselves also. Please do say something that as a way to close down.
As a way to close down, that is a very weighted statement.
No, this today's talk.
Yes. From my heart to yours, I would say, don't wait. Because you don't know how long that door of opportunity will remain open. You don't know. Neither do I. But one thing for sure, once you step into that door, then you can be able to evaluate how big the door is, how small, how wide. You can even evaluate and know if it is actually the door for you. Step one, do it. Evaluate yourself. What is it that is in your hand? What is in your hand, and how can you convert that into value that people are looking for? You are here on this earth. As long as you're breathing today, there is value, intrinsic value in you that people are looking for. And they will only get it when you step out and start and make it so valuable that the relationships around you grow, and they begin to value you and begin telling people about you. And your value keeps growing because people talk more and more about you. And once that happens, your impact, your footprint of impact grows. All that is nothing without the first step. Start. Find that one thing or two things that you know you can do. It could be you cook ugali well. There's some people in this world, for some reason, don't know how to cook ugali. Yours could be the ugali they are looking for. There are some people who are looking for someone to tell them how to take care of a 2-year-old child. You have taken care of several. Someone is looking for you. Start.
Wow. I think the message is clear. I cannot add anything. And if you have not had something, just start it. And if you have dreams, put them together. If you have goals, I like the advice today, goals on the next line times 10. So that if you hit 5, you're moving.
You're moved.
And we really appreciate Albert. I always, you have a special place in my heart.
Thank you, sir.
A very special place. I think the first time, I know you just captured me. And every time I listen to you, I think I'm thinking about the next thing to do. I'm always, I think when I'm listening to you, I'm thinking at the same time. And I have to be very, very honest about it. Thank you for taking time to be on Elevate. Remember, this is your place. Anytime, we'll keep calling you. And we'll keep having this relationship. Imagine what you're hearing. If I did not know Frank, you would not be sitting here. You would not be listening to him.
Yes.
That's how the power relationship is. And so this relationship...
If I had not started...
Imagine.
If I had not started, then found Frank, who found you, and you found Frank.
I tell you. See how it works. So you better start today. Somebody somewhere is waiting. Somebody somewhere. I listened, just to close, a man who was... this was a preaching. And he said, there is a church somewhere that has not been built because somebody has not started. There is somebody somewhere that is not born again because somebody has not started. There is something not working because you have not started.
Yes.
Let us all start and make this thing work. God bless you. Have a great day. This is Elevate, Wednesday morning digest edition. And remember this, as we close, I'm sorry, I can't read all, but let me read Pastor Moriah. There's a Pastor Moriah Thomas. He says, wonderful, 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 wonderful. Very much enjoying and getting blessed.
Amen.
Thank you, Moriah Thomas, and all of you who have been watching. We appreciate your support. Please keep it Elevate. This is where we advance kingdom lifestyle. God bless you. Have yourself a great day.